Tonight marks the return of the CBS News series 48 Hours, NCIS. The 48 Hours team brings you the real-life cases that inspire the scripted CBS show. The 6-part series follows the Naval Criminal Investigative Service and the difficult cases facing the agents. Tonight's story is one of bravery and determination, highlighting the deep responsibility the NCIS has investigating crimes against the families of those who serve in the Navy and the Marine Corps.
NCIS is a multifaceted agency. So if there's a crime involving a spouse or dependent of a Navy or Marine Corps member, our job is to vigorously pursue the perpetrator.
The community of Jacksonville, North Carolina, home to military base Camp Lejeune, was terrorized by a serial rapist over a 14-month span, beginning in 2011.
There was a huge concern by the Marine Corps. There was a pervasive fear, really.
The first victim was a Marine wife, Mary Ann, who was attacked in the middle of the night.
I was at home with just my son,
while her husband was deployed in Afghanistan.
I'm walking around the corner. I look up and he's right there and he's charging at me.
After the intruder sexually assaulted Mary Ann, he forced her to leave her son home alone and drive to an ATM.
I really wanted to crash the car, but my son's at home.
The attacker fled, leaving behind few clues.
He took good measures to make sure that he didn't leave any physical evidence behind.
It is believed that the perpetrator was responsible for 12 sexual assaults. 5 of those were dependent wives of Marines, 4 of which were deployed.
More than a year after Mary Ann was assaulted, the investigators developed their first significant lead when Brianna Murphy was attacked.
I could hear footsteps, and then someone shook me, and then I just felt like a big, like, smack across my face. And I just immediately rolled over and I ran, like, as fast as I could.
Brianna's attacker vanished, taking her wallet with all her credit cards. Hours later, he moved on to his next victim, Sarah. Her husband had just left for work at the base.
I saw a man in the entryway to my bedroom. He was just standing there with a gun pointed at me.
NCIS and the Jacksonville Police Department created a joint task force and began working leads on Brianna and Sarah's cases. Investigators would soon have videotape of their suspect when he used Brianna's stolen credit cards.
That's when it kicked into overdrive.
That video would lead to identifying Willie Abner Brown, a career criminal. He was picked up on a traffic stop.
I have a hunch that he's connected to more. Ultimately, it comes down to what we're able to prove.
I wanted to do everything that I could to be part of him being caught.
I needed to know that it was done and that he couldn't hurt anybody else.
People think NCIS, we're just there for the Marine Corps and the Navy. We're there for the warfighters and their families. That's what we're there for.
So here with us is actor Rocky Carroll. He plays the agency's director on the CBS Entertainment series. He's also the narrator of the 48 Hours series. Thank you and welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So, I was not really aware that NCIS also, was focused on the families of members who were serving. How tough of a case was this for them?
Well, when the NCIS investigators work on cases of the families who serve, they take it very, very seriously. A lot of these soldiers, they're stationed, they're in Afghanistan, they're stationed all over the world, and sometimes they're gone for very long periods of time. So what was critical in this particular case was that 2 of the victims were actually attacked on the same night. And the information that they gave authorities was very critical in solving the case.
So what more can you tell us about these survivors? I mean, they're incredible people.
They are incredible people, very brave women who all came forward. They reported their assaults to the authorities. One of the victims was able to give very detailed information about her attack, even while it was happening. So she knew it was important for her to remember very specific details. And the very ironic thing is she said she learned this and she remembered this from watching crime shows on TV.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it seems like they would have a lot of evidence. With each additional victim, there's more evidence to collect.
Right.
Are these easy cases or not easy cases?
Even with all the evidence, it's not always a slam dunk. Sometimes the attackers can be, very good at keeping and hiding information. This particular attacker, he was very methodical about hiding physical evidence.
And for you, obviously playing the role that you play on the television show and then actually seeing some of these real life stories, how does it just affect you personally?
Well, it gives me much more of a sense of understanding and appreciation for what these agents really do. And the fact that they don't just sort of go about it perfunctory, that they actually take these cases personally. They want to solve these cases. They want to bring closure to the members of the family, you know, who are dealing with these horrible crimes. So it's a very all-consuming thing.
Yeah, I can imagine they must have sort of a sense of personal responsibility, because here you have these men and women who are serving. They are off protecting our country, so they are not home protecting their family.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they feel like they should be looking out for these families.
And the sense of guilt that you were not there to protect the people that you care about the most.
Right.
And I think that's part of what really motivates our, you know, the NCIS agents to get to the bottom of these cases, solve them, and bring closure to the family.
Yeah, thank heaven for them, for the NCIS
indeed.
officers.
Rocky Carroll, thank you very much.
So
My
great
pleasure.
to see you.
Thank you.
Well, season 2 of 48 Hours NCIS launches tonight at 10 p.m. But before that, you can watch Rocky on the season finale of NCIS at 8 p.m. on CBS.